My name is Benedict Lick, Executive Director. I'm having some problems with my voice, so looks like I'm going to croak my way through the summer of 2025, but never mind. So we're very pleased to have the Newport Celtic Troupe come back. They've been here several times, and we take a very expansive view of the humanities. It's not just poetry readings and leathery books, it's also music and performance. And so we've got not only these very talented people tonight, but we have like 4 concerts coming up that are gonna be crazy. So please, why not? But anyways, so thank you all so much and welcome. And they are.
I've been north and I've been south, oh I've been east and west. I've been just a rolling stone. Yet there's one place on this earth that I have loved the best. It's just a little town I call my own. For Dublin can be heaven, with coffee at 11 and a stroll in Stephen's Green. There's no need to worry. There's no need to hurry, you're a king and the lady is a queen. Grafton Street's a wonderland, there's magic in the air. There's diamonds in the lady's eyes and gold dust in her hair. And if you don't believe me, well come and meet me there. In Dublin on a sunny summer morning. I've been here and I've been there, I've sought the rainbow's end, but no crock of gold I found. Now I know what come what may, whatever fate may send, here my roots are deep in friendly ground. For Dublin can be heaven, with coffee at 11 and a stroll in Stephen's Green. There's no need to hurry. There's no need to worry, you're a king and the lady is a queen. Grafton Street's a wonderland, there's magic in the air. There's diamonds in the lady's eyes and gold dust in her hair. And if you don't believe me, well come and meet me there. In Dublin on a sunny summer morning. And if you don't believe me, well, come and meet me there, in Dublin on a sunny summer morning.
One, the Martello Tower having breakfast. Stately, plump Buck Mulligan came from the stairhead, bearing a bowl of lather on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed. A yellow dressing gown ungirdled was sustained gently behind him by the mild morning air. He held the bowl aloft and intoned,
In truibo aldaterite.
halted. He peered down the winding staircase and called out coarsely,
Come up, Kitch. Come up, you fearful judges.
Solemnly he came forward and mounted the round gun rest. He faced about and blessed gravely thrice the tower, the surrounding land, and the awakening mountains. Then catching sight of Stephen Daedalus, he bent towards him and made rapid crosses in the air, gurgling in his throat and shaking his head. Stephen Daedalus, displeased and sleepy, leaned his arms on top of the staircase and looked coldly at the shaking, gurgling face that blessed him.
That woman is coming up with the milk. The best of the company. Sit down. Pour out the tea there. The sugar's in the back. Here, I can't move fumbling at the damage.
He hacked through the fry on the dish and slapped it out on 3 plates, saying,
In nomine Patri, Filii, et Spiritus Sancti.
Haynes sat down to pour out the tea.
I'm giving you 2 lumps each, but I say, Mother, you do make strong tea, don't you?
Bob Mulligan, hewing thick slices from the loaf, said in an old woman's wheedling voice,
When I makes tea,
That's all Mother Grogan said.
and when I makes water.
By Jove, it is tea.
So we do this cow's tea. Be good, nonsense, Mrs. Cow. God's changed your plate to one pot.
he lunged towards his messmates in turn, the thick slice of bread impaled on his knife.
That spoke for your book, Haynes. 5 lines of text and 10 pages of notes about the folk and the fish gods of Dundrum. Printed by the weird sisters of the year of the big wind. Can you recall, Mother, is Mother Grogan's tea and water spoken about in the Malgonian, or is it in the Upanishads?
I doubt it.
Do you know? Your reasons, pray.
I fancy it did not exist in or out of the Babylonian. Mother Grogan was, one imagines, a kinswoman of Marianne.
Charming. Do you think she was? Quite charming.
Then, suddenly overclouding all his features, he growled in a hoarse and rasping voice as he hewed again vigorously at the loaf.
Bro, Marianne, she doesn't get the down. He's an upper petticoat.
He crammed his mouth with fry and munched and groaned. The doorway was darkened by an entering form.
The milk, sir.
Come in, Mum. Kitch, get the jug.
An old woman came forward.
That's a lovely morning, sir. Glory be to God.
To whom? To be sure. The islanders speak frequently of the collector of prepuces.
How much, sir?
A quart.
He watched her pour into the measure, and thence into the jug. Rich, white milk. Not hers. Old shrunken paps. She poured again, a measureful in a tilly. Old and secret, she had entered from a morning world. Maybe a messenger. She praised the goodness of the milk, pouring it out, crouching by a patient cow at daybreak in the lush field. A witch on her toadstool, her wrinkled fingers quick as quirky dogs. They lowed about her whom they knew, dew silky cattle. Silk of the keen and poor old woman, names given her in old times. A wandering crone, lowly form of an immortal, serving her conqueror and her gay betrayer. Their common cup-queen, a messenger from the secret morning, to serve or to upbraid, whether he could not tell, but scorned to beg her favor.
It is indeed, Mum.
Taste it, sir.
And he drank at her bidding.
If we could only have a good food like that, we wouldn't have a country full of rotten teeth and rotten guts. Living in a box swamp, eating cheap food, and the streets paved with dust, hearthstone, and consumptive spits.
Are you a medical student, sir?
I am, ma'am.
Oh, look at that now.
Stephen listened in scornful silence. She bows her old head to a voice that speaks to her loudly. Her bone setter, her medicine man, and these she slights. To the voice that will shrive and oil for the grave, all there is of her but her woman's unclean loins, of man's flesh made not in God's likeness, the serpent's prey. and to the loud voice that now bids her be silent with wondering unsteady eyes.
Anya, that's hey.
Do you understand what he says?
Is French you're talking, sir?
Irish, is there Gaelic on you?
I thought it was Irish, by the sound of it. Are you from the West, sir?
I'm an Englishman. He's English. And he thinks we ought to speak Irish in Ireland.
Oh, sure we ought to, and I'm ashamed I don't speak the language myself. I'm told it is a grand language by them that knows.
Grand is no name for it. Wonderful entirely. Put us out to our cheek-inch. Would you like a cup, man?
Oh, no, thank you, sir.
Have you a bill? Pay them on the good, haven't we?
Bill, sir? Well, it's 7 mornings a pint at tuppence, it's 7 twos, it's a shilling and tuppence over, and these 3 mornings a quart and 4 pence is 3 quarts. It's a shilling, and 1 and 2 is 2, sir.
Buck Mulligan sighed, having filled his mouth with a crust thickly buttered on both sides, stretched forth his legs and began to search his trouser pockets.
They are not pleasant.
Stephen filled a third cup, a spoonful of tea colouring faintly the thick, rich milk. Buck Mulligan bought out a flower, twisted it around in his fingers and cried,
A miracle! Ask nothing more, sweet. All I can give, I can give. We don't troubles.
Time enough, sir. Time enough. Good morning, sir.
She curtsied and went out, followed by Buck Mulligan's tender chant.
Heart of my heart were it more will be laid at your feet. Seriously, Davis, I am stony. Hurry out to your old school kit and bring us back some money. Today the bards must drink and junket. Ireland expects that of every man this day will do his duty.
That reminds me. I have to visit your National Library today.
Our swim first. Is this the day for your monkey wash, Kinch? The unclean barons make a point of washing more than once a month.
All Ireland is washed by the Gulf Stream.
Two, Mr. Bloom eating and making breakfast for Molly.
Mr. Leopold Bloom ate with relish the inner organs of beasts and fowls. He liked thick giblet soup, nutty gizzards, a stuffed roast heart, liver slices fried with crust crumbs, and fried hen cod's roes. But most of all, he liked grilled mutton kidneys, which gave to his palate the fine tang of faintly scented urine. Kidneys were on his mind as he moved about the kitchen softly, writing her breakfast things on the humpy tray. Ooh, jellies delight an air in the kitchen, out of doors, gentle summer morning, everywhere. Made me feel a bit peckish. The coals were reddening. Another slice of bread and butter. 3 for 4. Right, she didn't like her plate full. Right. He turned from the tray, lifted the kettle from the hob, and set it sideways on the fire. It sat there, dull and squat, with its spout stuck out. Cup of tea soon. Good. Mouth dry. The cat walked stiffly around the leg of the table, with tail on high.
Oh, there you are.
The cat mewed in answer and stalked again stiffly round a leg of the table, mewing, just how she stalks over the writing table. Prrr, scratch my head. Prrr.
Mr. Bloom watched curiously, kindly, the lithe black form. Clean to see in the gloss of her sleek hide the white button under the butt of her tail. The green, flashing eyes, he bent down to her, his hands on his knees. Milk for the pussons? They call them stupid. They understand what we say better than we understand them. She understands all she wants to. Vindictive, too. Cruel is her nature. Curious mice never squeal. Seem to like it. Wonder what I look like to her with the height of a tower? No, she can jump me. Afraid of the chicken, she is. Afraid of the chooks. Never saw such a stupid pussons as the pussons.
She blinked up out of her avid, shame-frozen eyes, mewing plaintively and long, showing him her milk-white teeth.
He watched the dark eye slits narrowing with greed till her eyes were green stones. Then went to the dresser, took the jug that Hammond's milkman had just filled for him, and poured warm, bubbled milk on a saucer and set it slowly on the floor. He watched the bristles shining wide in the weak light as she ticked 3 times and licked lightly. Wonder, is it true if you clip them they can't mouse after? Why? They shine in the dark, perhaps, the tips. Or what kind of feels in the dark, perhaps? He listened to her licking lap. Ham and eggs? No good eggs with this drought. Need pure fresh water. Thursday. No, not a good day either for a mutton kidney at Buckley's. Fried with butter, a shake of pepper. Better at pork kidney at Lubish's. While the kettle is boiling, she laps slower, then licking the saucer clean. Why are their tongues so rough? To lap better, all porous holes. Nothing she can eat. He glanced round him. No. On quietly creaky boots, he went up the staircase to the hall and paused by the bedroom door. She might like something tasty. Thin bread and butter she likes in the morning, still perhaps once in a way. I'm going round the corner, I'll be back in a minute. You don't want anything for breakfast? No, she didn't want anything.
Three, general palaver at the Dublin pub.
The time of day with old Troy of the DMP at the corner of Arbor Hill there, and be damned, but a bloody sweep came along and he near drove his gear into my eye. Well, I turned round to let him have the weight of my tongue, when who should I see dodging along Stony Batter? Only Joe Hines. Hello, Joe, how are chimney sweep and you shut my eye out with his brush.
Look, who's that old bollard you were talking to?
Old Troy was in the force. I'm on 2 miles not to give that fellow in charge for obstructing the thoroughfare with his brooms and ladders.
But what are you doing around these parts?
Oh, divil a much, says I. There's a bloody big foxy thief beyond by the garrison church at the corner of Chicken Lane. Old Troy was just giving me a wrinkle about it. Lifted any god's quantity of tea and sugar to pay 3 bob a week. Said he had a farm in the county down off a hop of my tongue by the name of Moses Herzog over there near Butsbury Street.
Circumcised?
Aye, says I, a bit off the top. An old plumber named Garrity, and hanging on to his tar now for the past fortnight, and I can't get a penny out of him.
So that's the lay you're on now?
Aye, Howard the mighty fallen, collector of bad and doubtful debts. But that's the most notorious bloody robbery you meet in a day's walk. And the face of him, all pockmarks would hold a shower of rain. Tell him, says he, I dare him, says he, and I double dare him to send you round here again. Or if he does, says he, I'll have him summoned up before the court, so I will, for trading without a licence. And he after stuffing himself till he's fit to burst. Jesus, I had to laugh at the little Jewy getting his shirt out. He'd drink me my peas, he'd eat me my sugars, because he don't pay me my money.
For non-perishable goods bought of Moses Herzog of 13 St. Kevin's Parade in the city of Dublin, Wood Quay Ward, merchant, hereinafter called the vendor, and sold and delivered to Michael E. Garrity, Esquire, of 29 Arbor Hill in the city of Dublin, Aaron Quay Ward, gentleman, hereinafter called the purchaser, Villaset, 5 pounds avoirdupois of first choice tea at 3 shillings per pound avoirdupois, and 3 stone avoirdupois of sugar, crushed crystal, at 3 pence per pound avoirdupois. And the said purchaser debtor to the said vendor of 1 pound 5 shillings of 6 pence sterling for value received of vendor, which amount shall be paid by said purchaser to said vendor in weekly installments every 7 calendar days of 3 shillings and no pence sterling. And the said non-perishable goods shall not be pawned, or pledged, or sold, or otherwise alienated by the said purchaser, but shall be, and remain, and be held to be the sole and exclusive property of the said vendor, to be disposed of at his good will and pleasure, until the said amount shall have been duly paid by the said purchaser to the said vendor, in the manner herein set forth, as this day hereby agreed, between the said vendor, his heirs, successors, trustees, and assigns of the one part, and the purchaser, his heirs, successors, trustees, and assigns of the second part.
Are you a strict TT?
Oh, I'm not taking anything between drinks.
What about paying our respects to our friend?
Oh, sure, he's out in John of God's out of his mind, the poor man.
Drinking his own stuff.
Aye, whiskey and water on the brain, man.
I come around to Barney Kieran's. I want to see the citizen.
Barney McVorney's me. Anything strange or wonderful, Joe?
Oh, not a word. I was up at the meeting there at the City Arms.
And what was that, Joe?
Cattle traders about the foot and mouth disease. I want to give the citizen the hard word about it.
So we went around by the Linen Hall barracks in the back of the courthouse talking about one thing or another. Decent fella, Joe, when he has it, but sure like that he never has it. Jesus, I couldn't get over that bloody foxy Garrity, the daylight robber, for trading without a license, says he.
In Inishvale, the fair, there lies a land. the land of Holy Michael. They rise in a watchtower, beheld of men afar. There sleep the mighty dead, as in life they slept, warriors and princes of high renown. A pleasant land it is in sooth, of murmuring waters, fish-full streams where sport the gurnard, the plaice, the roach, the halibut, the gib, the haddock, the grills, the dab, the brill, the flounder, the pollock, the mixed coarse fish generally, and other denizens of the aqueous kingdom too numerous to enumerate. In the mild breezes of the west and of the east, the lofty trees wave in different directions their first-class foliage. The lofty sycamore, the Lebanonian cedar, the exalted plane tree, the eugenic eucalyptus, and other ornaments of the arboreal world with which that region is thoroughly well supplied. Lovely maidens sit in close proximity to the roots of the lovely trees, singing the most lovely songs while they play with all kinds of lovely objects, as for example, golden ignats, silvery fishes, crans of herrings, draughts of eels, codlings, creels of fingerlings, purple sea gems, and playful insects. And heroes voyage from afar to woo them. From Atlanta to Silmargi, the peerless princes of unfettered Munster, and of Connaught the Just, and of smooth, silk sleek Leinster, and of Cruachan's land, and of Armagh the Splendid, and of the noble district of Boyle, princes, sons of kings.
And there rises a shining palace, whose crystal glittering roof is seen by mariners who traverse the extensive sea in barks built expressly for that purpose. And thither come all herds and fatlings and first fruits of the land, for O'Connell Fitzsimon takes toll of them, chieftain among chieftains. Thither the extremely large wains bring poison of fields, flaskets of cauliflowers, floats of spinach, pineapple chunks, Rangoon beans, stripes of tomatoes, drums of figs, drills of Swedes, spherical potatoes, and tallies of iridescent kale, York, and Savoy, and trays of onions, pearls of the earth, and punnets of mushrooms, and custard marrows, and fat vetches, and beer, and rape, and red, green, yellow, brown, russet, sweet, big, bitter, ripe, pommelated apples, and chips of strawberries, and sieves of gooseberries, pulpy and pelurious, and strawberries fit for princes, and raspberries from their canes.
I dare him, says he, and I double dare him. Come out here, Garrity, you notorious bloody hill and dare robber. So we turned into Barney Kieran's, and there, sure enough, was the citizen up in the corner, having a great confab with himself and that bloody mangy mongrel, Gary Owen, and he waiting for what the sky would drop in the way of a drink. There he is in his glory hall with his crew scheme lawn and his load of papers working for the cause. The bloody mongrel let out a grouse out of him would give you the creeps. Be your corporal work of mercy if someone would take the life of that bloody dog. I'm told for a fact he ate a good part of the breeches off a constabulary man in Sandry that came round one time with a blue paper and a license.
That's all right, citizen. Friends here.
Pass, friends. What's your opinion of the times?
I think the markets are on the rise.
Foreign wars are the cause of us.
Well, it's the Russians went to tyrannize.
Give over your bloody cotton, mate. But thirst to me, I wouldn't sell for half a crown.
Give it a name, citizen.
Wine of the country.
How much yours?
Ditto, my master.
3 pints, Terry. How's the old heart, citizen?
Never better than Cara. What, Gary? Have we done too well, eh?
And with that, he took the bloody old trouser by the scruff of the neck and by Jesus, he near throttled him.
The figure seated on a large boulder at the foot of a round tower was that of a broad-shouldered, deep-chested, strong-limbed, frank-eyed, red-haired, prettily freckled, shaggy-bearded, wide-mouthed, large-nosed, long-headed, deep-voiced, bare-kneed, brawny-handed, hairy-legged, ruddy-faced, sinewy-armed hero. From shoulder to shoulder, he measured several ells, and his rock-like mountainous knees were covered, as was likewise the rest of his body, wherever visible, with a strong growth of tawny, prickly hair and hue and toughness similar to the mountain gorse, Ulysses europaeus. The wide-winged nostrils, from which bristles of that same tawny hue projected, were of such capaciousness that within their cavernous obscurity the field hawk might easily have lodged her nest. The eyes, in which a tear and a smile strove ever for the mastery, were of the dimensions of a good-sized cauliflower. A powerful current of warm breath issued at regular intervals from the profound cavity of his mouth, while in rhythmic resonance the loud, strong, hail reverberations of his formidable heart thundered rumblingly, causing the ground, the summit of the lofty tower, and the still loftier walls of the cave to vibrate and tremble!
So anyhow, Terry bought the 3 pints. And began to sight when you left my eyes when I saw him land out a quid. Oh, as true as I'm telling you, a good-looking sovereign.
And there's more where that came from.
Were you robbing the poor box, Joe?
Let me grow. 'Twas the prudent member hated the weeds. Ah, well, thanks be to God they had to start for us. Drink that, citizen.
I will, honourable person.
Health, John. Ow! Don't be talking. I was blue mouldy for the want of that pint. I declare to God, I could feel it hit the pit of my stomach with a click. Little Alf Bergen popped in around the door and hid behind Barney's snug, squeezed up with the laughing. And who was sitting up there in the corner that I hadn't seen, snoring drunk, blind to the world, only Bob Doran? I didn't know what was up, and Alf kept making signs out the door. And you know, what was it? Only that bloody old pantaloon Dennis Green in his bath slippers, with 2 bloody big books tucked under his oxter, and his wife hot foot after him, unfortunate wretched woman, trotting like a poodle. I thought Alf would split.
Look at him, Breen. He's traipsing all around Dublin with a postcard someone sent him with a UP up on it to take a life.
Take a what?
Libel action, says he, for £10,000. Oh, hell.
Bloody mongrel began to growl that it put the fear of God in you seeing something was up, but the citizen gave him a kick in the ribs.
Bewitched.
Who was it?
Breen. He was into John Henry Merton's, and then he went around to Collins and Ward's, and then Tom Rochford met him up and sent him around to the sub-sheriff for a lark. Oh God, I'm a pain laughing. Up. The long fellow gave him an eye as good as a process, and now the bloody old lunatic has gone around to Green Street to look for a G-man.
When is Long John gonna hang that fellow up in Mountjoy?
Yes, hang him. Wait till I show you. Here, Terry, give us a pony. The bloody old fool. £10,000. You should have seen Long John's eye.
UP. What's that bloody Freemason doing prowling up and down outside?
What's that?
Here you are, chuck it up the right now. Talking about hanging. I'll show you something you never saw. Hangman's letters. Look.
Are you cotton?
The Honest Injun. Read them.
Will he mind these times out?
I don't know, I saw him just now on Capel Street with Paddy Dignam. Only I was no after.
You with who?
With Dignam.
Paddy?
Yes.
But he's dead.
Paddy Dignam dead.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm after just now seeing him 5 minutes ago as plain as a pikestaff.
You saw his ghost then. All between us and all there.
What? Good Christ. Only 5? What? And Willie Murray with him. The 2 of them were over there, what did you call them? What? Dignam dead? He's no more dead than you are.
Well, maybe so. They took the liberty of burying him this morning anyway.
Paddy?
Aye, he paid the debt of nature. I'll be merciful on him.
Good Christ.
He was what you might call a flabbergasted.
Once in a dear dead day beyond recall, and on the world the mist began to fall. Out of the dreams that rose in happy throng, low to our hearts, love sang an old sweet song. And in the dusk where fell the firelight's gleam, softly it wove itself into our dream. Just a song at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadow softly come and go. Though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at twilight comes love's sweet song, comes love's own sweet song.
Four. Bloom joins the men of the pub. The conversation continues.
Show us all in the trench. Which
That's point, as the devil said to the dead police men.
And I've gone for a race too. Is hated and persecuted. Also now, this very moment, this very instant,
He near burnt his fingers with his old cigar.
robbed, plundered, insulted, persecuted, taking what belongs to us by right. At this very moment, sold by auction, in Morocco, like slaves or cattle. Are you talking about the New Jerusalem? I'm talking about injustice.
Right. Stand up to it then with force like men.
That's an almanac picture for you. Marked for a soft-nosed bullet. Old Larry face standing up to the business end of a gun. Gob. He'd adorn a sweeping brush, so he would, if he only had a nurse's apron around him. And then he'd collapse all of a sudden, twisting around all the opposite, as limp as a wet rag.
But it's no use. Force, hatred, history, all that. That's not life for men and women. Insult and hatred. And everyone knows that it's the very opposite of that is really life.
But
Love. The opposite of hatred. Well, look, let's go now. Just round to the court a moment to see if Martin is there. If he comes, I'll say I'll be back in a second. Just a moment.
who is injuring you?
A mere apostle to the Gentiles. Universal love.
Well, isn't that what we're told? Love your neighbor.
That chap. Begging me name is his motto. I love him, will ya? He's a nice pattern of a Romeo and Julius. Love loves to love love. Nurse loves the new chemist. Constable 14A loves Mary Kelly. Gertie MacDowell loves the boy that has the bicycle. MB loves a fair gentleman. Ichihan Laviak Kisichu Ho Chao. John Bird the elephant loves Alice the elephant. Old Mr. Fairchild with the ear trumpet loves old Mrs. Fairchild with the turned-in eye. The man in the brown Macintosh loves a lady who is dead. His Majesty King loves Her Majesty the Queen. Mrs. Norman W. Tucker loves Officer Taylor. You love a certain person, and this person loves that other person, because everybody loves somebody. But God loves everybody.
Well, Joe, you're a very good help and song. More power, citizen.
All right there.
The blessing of God and area party with you. We know those can't just preaching and pecking your pocket. What about the sanctimonious Cromwell and his Ironside that put the women and children of drabs with the sword? With the Bible text. God is love, pasted around the belt of his cannon.
He is gone from mortal haunts. O Dignum, son of our morning, fleet was his foot on the bracken, Patrick of the beamy brow. Wail, Bonbo, with your wind. Wail, O ocean, with your whirlwind.
There he is again.
Who?
Bloom. He's been pointing you up and down there for the last 10 minutes. I saw his speak, I'll do a peep and then send her off again.
Little Alf was not Barwell's fate, he was.
Good Christ, I could have sworn it was
Who
him.
said Christ is good?
I beg your parsonage.
Is it a good Christ to take away poor little Willie Dam?
Well, trying to pass it off. He's over all his troubles now.
He's a bloody ruffian! I say, to take away poor Willie Dingham.
Terry came down and tipped the wind to keep quiet that they didn't want that kind of talk in the respectable licensed premises. And Joe starts doing the weeps about Paddy Dignam, true as you're there.
The finest man, the finest and purest character.
The tears bloody near your eye, talking through his bloody hat. Fitter for him to go home to the little sleepwalking bitch he married, Mooney. the bum bailiff's daughter. Mother kept a kip up on Hardwick Street that used to be stravaging about the landings, Banking Lyons told me, that was stopping there at 2 in the morning without a stitch on her, exposing her person open to all comers, fair field and no
The
favour.
noblest, the truest, and he's gone. Poor little Paddy then.
And mournful and with a heavy heart, he bewept the extinction of that beam of heaven. Oh, Gary almost started growling again at Bloom that was skeezing round the door.
Come in, come on, he won't eat you.
So Bloom slopes in with his cod's eye on the dog, and he asked Terry was Martin Cunningham there.
Oh, Bloom. Oh, what do you have?
So they started arguing the point. Bloom said he wouldn't and he couldn't, and excuse and no offence and all to that, and then he said, well, he'd just take a cigar. God, he's a prudent member and no mistake.
Give us one of your prime stinkers, Terry.
And Alf was telling us that there was one chap sitting in a morning car with a black border around it.
They're all barbers from the Black Country that would hang their own fathers for 5 quid down and travelling expenses. And he was telling us there's 2 fellows waiting down below to pull his heels down when they give him their drop and choke him properly. And then they chop up the rope after and sell the bit for a few bob a skull. In the dark land they bide, the vengeful knights of the razor. Their deadly coil they grasp, and yea, and therein they lead to Erebus whatsoever white hath done a deed of blood, for I will on no wise suffer it, even so saith the Lord.
So they started talking about capital punishment, and of course Bloom comes out with the why and the wherefore, and all the codology of the business, and the old dog smelling him all the time. I'm told those Jewies do have a sort of queer odour coming off them for dogs about I don't know what, all deterrent effect and so forth and so on.
There's one thing it doesn't have a deterrent effect on.
What's that?
The poor bugger's tool that's being hanged.
Is that so?
Oh, God's truth. I heard it from the head warder that was in Kilmainham when they hanged Joe Brady the Invincible. He told me that when they cut him down after the drop, it was standing up in their faces like a poker.
Strong in death, as someone said.
That can be explained by science. It's only a natural phenomenon, don't you see? Because of the
And then he starts with his jawbreakers about science and this phenomenon and that phenomenon and the other phenomenon. The distinguished scientist, Herr Professor Luitpold Blumdorf, tendered medical evidence to the effect that the instantaneous fracture of the cervical vertebrae and consequent scission of the spinal cord would, according to the best approved traditions of medical science, be calculated to inevitably produce in the human subject a violent ganglionic stimulus of the nerve centers of the genital apparatus, thereby causing the elastic pores of the corpora cavernosa to rapidly dilate, is known as, in such a way as to instantaneously facilitate the flow of blood to that part of the human anatomy known as the penis or male organ, resulting in the phenomenon, which has been denominated by the faculty, a morbid upwards and outwards philoprogenitive erection in articulo mortis per diminutionem capitis. So, of course, the citizen was only waiting for the wink of the word, and he starts gassing out of him about the Invincibles and the Old Guard and the Men of 67 and Who Fears to Speak in 98 and Joe Witham, about all the fellows that were hanged, drawn and transported for the cause by Drumhead Court Martial and in New Ireland and New this, that and the other. Talking about New Ireland, you ought to go and get a new dog, so you ought. mangy, ravenous brute, sniffing and sneezing all around the place and scratching his scabs. And round he goes to Joe, that was standing out for half of him, sucking up for what he could get. So, of course, Joe starts doing the bloody fool with him.
Give us a paw. Come on, Dougie, give us the paw. Give me the paw, baby.
Alright, bloody into the clawhy paw and Alf trying to get Keaton from tumbling off the bloody stool on top of the bloody old dog. And he talking all kinds of drivel about training by kindness and thoroughbred dog, an intelligent dog, and give you the bloody pick. Then he starts scraping a few bits of old biscuit out of the bottom of the Jacob's tin he told Terry to bring. God, he gulped it down like old boots and his tongue hanging out of me yard long for more. Nearly the tin and all, hungry bloody mongrel. And the citizen and Bloom having an argument about the point. The brothers sheared and moved home beyond an Arbor Hill, and Robert Emmett, and die for your country. The Tommy Woods touch about Sarah Curran, and she's far from the land. And Bloom, of course, with his knock-me-down cigar, putting on swank with his lardy face, phenomenon. The fat BP Mary is a nice old phenomenon with a bat in her like a ball alley. Time they were stopping up in the city arms, Fisher Burke told me, there was an old one there with a cracked luteral arm of a nephew, and Bloom trying to get the soft side of her doing the mollycoddle, playing busy to come in for a bit of wampum in her will, and not eating meat of a Friday, because the old one was always thumping her craw and taking the lout out for a walk. Oh, and one time, he led him the rounds of Dublin, and by the Holy Farmer, he never cried crap till he brought him home as drunk as a boiled owl, and he said he did it to teach him the evils of alcohol. And by herrings, if the three women didn't nearly roast him. It's a queer story, the old one. Bloom's wife and Mrs. O'Dowd that kept the hotel. Jesus, I had to laugh at Mr. Burke taking them off chewing the fat. And Bloom with his "but don't you see," but on the other hand. And sure more be told, the long-time told was in Powers after the blenders, round in Cope Street, going home footless in a cab 5 times in the week after drinking his way through all the samples in the bloody establishment. Phenomenal.
Memory of the dead.
Aye, aye.
You don't grasp my point.
I don't care what anybody says. It'd be a much better for the world to be governed by the women in it. You wouldn't see women going and killing one another and slaughtering. When do you ever see women rolling around drunk like they do, or gambling every penny they have and losing it on horses? Yes, because a woman, whatever she does, she knows when to stop. Sure, they wouldn't be in the world at all, only for us.
Her antiquity in proceeding and surviving succeeding Tellurian generations. Her nocturnal predominance, a satellitic dependence, a luminary reflection, are constantly under all her phases rising and setting by her appointed times. Waxing and waning. The forced invariability of her aspect, an indeterminate response to inaffirmative interrogation. Her potency over effluent and refluent waters, her power to enamor, to mortify, to invest with beauty, to render insane, to incite to and aid delinquency. The tranquil inscrutability of her visage, the terribility of her isolated, dominant, resplendent propinquity, her omens of tempest and of calm, the stimulation of her light, her motion and her presence, the admonition of her craters, her arid seas, her silence, her splendor when visible, her attraction when invisible.
I love flowers. I'd love to have the whole place swimming in roses. God of heaven, there's nothing like nature. The wild mountains, and the sea, and the waves rushing. Then the beautiful country with fields of oats and wheat and all kinds of things. And all the fine cattle going about. That would do your heart good to see. Rivers and lakes and flowers. All sorts of shapes and smells and colours springing up, even out of the ditches. Primroses and violets. Nature, it is. As for them saying there's no God, I wouldn't give a snap of me fingers for all their learning. Why don't they go and try to create something? I often ask them. Atheists, or whatever they call themselves. Go and wash the cobbles off themselves first. Then they go howling for the priest, and then dying. And why? Why? Because they're afraid of hell, on account of their bad conscience. Oh yes, I know them well. Who was the first person in the universe, before there was anybody, that made it all? Who? Oh, they don't know. Neither do I. So there you are. They might as well try to stop the sun from shining tomorrow. The sun shines for you, he said. The day we were lying among the rhododendrons on Hoth Head, and the grey tweed suit, and the straw hat. The day I got him to propose to me. Yes. First, I gave him the bit of seed cake out of my mouth. And it was leap year. Like now, yes. 16 years ago. My God. After that long kiss, I nearly lost my breath. Yes. He said I was a flower of the mountain. Yes. devours all. A woman's body, yes. That was one true thing he said in his life. And the sun shines for you today, yes. That was why I liked him, because I saw he understood or felt what a woman is, and I knew I could always get round him. And I gave him all the pleasure I could, leading him on to the day he asked me to say yes. And I wouldn't answer first, only looked out over the sea and sky. I was thinking so many things he didn't know of. Mulvey, and Mr. Stanhope, and Hester, and Father, and old Captain Rogues, and the sailors playing All Birds Fly. And I say, stoop and washing up dishes, they called it on the pier. And the sentry in front of the governor's house, with the thing round his white helmet, poor devil half roasted. And the Spanish girls laughing in their shawls, and their tall combs. And the auctions in the morning, the Greeks and the Jews and the Arabs and the devil knows who else from all ends of Europe. And Duke Street, and the foul market, all clucking outside Larby Sharon's, and the poor donkeys slipping half asleep, and the vague fellows in the cloaks asleep in the shade of the steps, and the big wheels of the carts of the bulls, and the old castle thousands of years old. Yes. And those handsome Moors, all in white and turbans like kings, asking you to sit in a little bit of a shop. And Rhonda, with the old windows of the posadas, glancing eyes, a lattice hid for her lover to kiss the iron, and the wine shops, half open at night, and the castanets, and the night we missed the boat at Algeciras, the watchman going about serene with his lamp, and oh, that awful deep down torrent, and oh, the sea crimson, sometimes like fire, and the glorious sunsets, and the fig trees in the Alameda Gardens, yes, and those queer little streets, and pink and blue and yellow houses, and the rose gardens, and the jessamine, and the geraniums, and the cactuses, and Gibraltar as a girl, where I was a flower of the mountain. When I put the rose in my hair, like the Andalusian girls used. Or shall I wear a red? Yes. And how he kissed me under the Moorish wall. And I thought, well, as well him as another. And then I asked him with my eyes to ask again. Yes. And then he asked me Would I guess to say yes, my mountain flower? And first, I put my arms around him, yes, and drew him down to me so he could feel my breasts, all perfume, yes, and his heart was going like mad. And yes, I said, yes, I will, yes.
Thank you.